In this episode of Haltech Heroes, we're talking big block, big turbos, big wheels, and a whole lot of American muscle. Never owned a big block, never owned a turbo V8, a twin turbo big block. I completely understand how someone could drive a car like this and just fall so in love with it. I've been shoehorned into a lot of different cars, a lot of tiny little minis, a lot of Hondas, Falcons, they got a bit of space, not much capacity. This thing, big cubes, it is such a super cool car, and the response you see from people that you drive past, they love it. It is a cool car. Old people, young people, car-hoons, not car-hoons, it doesn't matter. Mate, this beautiful dashboard as we're cruising along here, at a glance I look down, I can see my air-fuel ratio on both banks, so I know that all my injectors are under control. I've got my fuel pressure, my ethanol content, 83% at the moment. So this thing, this thing's on pump E85. Comes from our United service stations here in Australia. We're on about 83% ethanol at the moment, so it's a pretty good mixture. Oil pressure, 60 as we're cruising along. We're in vacuum, battery's charging, gearbox is cold. Our water temp is at 88, beautiful. RPM, we're at 1200 RPM, just parting along. Oh my God. This thing, one of the biggest surprises, it is so smooth. It comes onto boost, it is, the gearbox and the converter are beautiful, set up so well that as we're just cruising along here, we'll just sneak into it just a little bit. I don't know whether we'll be able to hear it on camera, but as we come on a little bit, on, more. Oh, you can definitely get in trouble with a twin turbocharged big block. Oh, all those noises, the whistles, the V8 noise, the thing's a machine. I can't wait to get back over here. Let's get in here, park it up, open the hood and have a bit of a look at what's inside this thing. Talk a bit about Nathan and Tez and what they've done to be able to have a machine like this. Brilliant. And this is where all that glorious noise comes from. A bit over 500 cubes or a bit over 8 litres of twin turbocharged Chevy V8. This thing's got all the fruit hanging off it. It's got the beautiful intake manifold. It's got the huge exhaust headers that come up over the top, so there's plenty of space for the turbos. It's got oil coolers. It's got radiators in the boot. It's fed with ethanol. It's got everything you'd want for your giant 1,000 horsepower street car. So I could probably go poking around in here and pointing some stuff out, but I do know the guy that put it together, so it's going to be much easier to just bring him in.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, what the f?
So tell us what crankshaft's in this thing.
Kelly's Magnum.
Conrods?
Oliver's.
Pistons?
JE.
And how big are they?
4.5 inch.
Jeez. Cylinder heads?
AFR 365s.
How many camshafts it got in it?
Only one.
No, I'm just kidding. I know it's only got one. What camshafts it got?
It's got a Crow can.
Yeah, right.
So and then hydraulic roller.
Hydraulic, because it's a street car. Yep. Perfect. Inlet manifold?
Plaza Man.
Magnificent.
Yep.
What feeds the inlet manifold?
Big 5-inch pipe.
What's hanging off the front?
A pair of Precision 76 75s.
And how much boost?
Up to 20 pounds when we want to.
Power?
1200-ish at the wheels.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.
What a nice, well-balanced street package, mated to an automatic transmission. This thing, absolute pleasure to drive. It's incredible. But the beauty of this car is it's not just a ginormous engine in a beautifully prepared engine bay. The car is so special because it's such a classic, it's such a unique shape that the guys have done such an awesome job restoring the whole car. You could easily slap a giant engine in this thing, go off and race it, but it doesn't really sort of speak to the type of car that it is. So the interior is old school muscle, but brand new. Everything about it is so clean and perfect that I'm sure that if they remade this model now, this is how it would come out of the factory. So we'll go inside, have a look at the beautifully done interior, and then there's a bit of special stuff on the dash in this car. So we'll go in, have a look at that. Well, just like the engine bay, just like the outside of this car, just like the wheels, inside is all class. It's been restored so tastefully back to nearly original, which was so perfect back then anyway. Got nice black roof lining, all the black sort of vinyl seats. The seat belts have changed to be the auto retracting style. The dash is everything is just so nice and neat and beautiful. And one of the things that I think is so cool, the radio in this car looks like the radio from back in the day, but when we turn it on, it's actually a reproduction of the original stereo, which is Bluetooth equipped, so it connects to your phone. It's got an MP3 player, it's a digital radio, but looks like the old style, just to keep in the theme of the car. It's amazing. Well, to the engine management business side of this, we'll crack open the glove box here. I bet they never thought there'd be an engine management system sitting in there when they built this car, but we've got an Elite 2000 series ECU in there. So that's the thing that's controlling the engine, the electronic boost control, all the stuff in the engine bay. It's doing all the fuel system in the back. More importantly, one of the things that the Elite 2500 is doing is the CAN communication throughout the car, and that's what I want to talk a little bit about. CAN, or Controller Area Network, is a way that devices communicate with each other so they can share information across what we call the CAN bus, or the two wires that run throughout the car, and then our devices can connect to these two wires, and then everybody can share the same information. Now, there are a few catches to this, and when we talk about CAN, or Controller Area Network communications, if we think about this a little bit differently, we think about this like humans from all over the world. Everybody can speak, but we all speak different languages. So if we get a bunch of devices together, all these devices can speak, we'll call it like this, in our CAN. So all of them have the ability to send out and receive information over the CAN network. But they all speak different languages, just like humans speak different languages from different countries. If you wanted to communicate with somebody from a country where you don't speak their language, you would need to learn the language, or you'd need to be told what to listen for and what to send out in order to communicate. It's exactly the same here. So what we've got in this car, we've got our Haltech Elite 2000 ECU that is CAN enabled. And in this car, we've got a Motec C1212 dash. So that's Motec's big, wide color screen dash. It's a beautiful thing. What we've done is set it up so that the Motec dash knows the Haltech language. So knowing a little bit more about CAN and the CAN protocol, or the language, keep in mind that the Haltech CAN protocol is publicly available. So that means that we've got a document that is on our website and we can send out to anybody that has all of our language. So all of the channels that we send out and all of the channels we receive are all available. So you can program any style of dash that's got a programmable CAN network like the Motec series to be able to talk to our ECU. It's not just limited to dashes, PDMs, or all sorts of devices that you can get to communicate. If it's got a programmable CAN network, you can use it. Well, I know with every car that I have a look through, I'm always so impressed. I'm always so excited about all of them. There's definitely something about this Camaro that is just It's the right blend of the old school muscle, but it's got all the new high-tech stuff so that it drives nice, the gearbox just works well, it doesn't overheat. It's a real proper driver's car. So on that note, that's all we've got time for today. In saying that, I'm going to take this for a bit more of a drive, and I may or may not come back to work today. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Scott, and I'll see you next time.